We are now recording sound.
Test 1, 2.
Put on your podcast smiles. Cell phones on silent. This is show number...
Show number
2003.
203. Awesome.
I need to.
We are going to have some fun tonight, right?
Yes.
Right.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hi.
He's talking to me.
I know.
I did take a picture of you guys dancing.
Yeah. I want that back.
Rock and roll. All right, gentlemen, ladies, and everybody, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Daniel, thanks for running camera. Give us a countdown.
All right, 3, 2.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics. With over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week show number 203 for July 30th, 2022. We're just coming off of the RPM meet over in Collinsville, Illinois, and what a great show it was. They had an attendance this year of around 650 people. They had 82 tables full of models, a full 38,000 square feet of square footage in the show space, which allowed things to be spread a little bit more apart. There was a lot of room to navigate, a lot of great models, and a lot of great eye candy. And it was absolutely wonderful. Mike Budde is sitting off to me over here where Mike always sits.
Yep.
It's good to have you tonight.
Right.
Sitting right next to me, I've got on the set, Holly Van Lanegum.
Hi.
Hey, Holly.
Hi.
You got to go to the show today,
Yes,
too.
I
I
will.
can't wait to get your feedback on that. Sitting right next to Holly is Steve Day.
Hi, everybody.
He is absolutely amazing from Lundy Studios. You all know Bob Lundy. He is an absolute amazing person in our hobby for years, creating DPM, creating design preservation models, Magnuson models, all the various models that we remember growing up in this hobby over the last 30 days, and you work with him. What an honor.
I know.
Sitting right next to Steve, we've got Vic Smith, the creator and the artist of the City's Edge layout.
Yay.
And if you check out the July's What's Neat This Week video that's running at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine right now, you can see the interview that we had with Vic Smith as he describes his layout and his passion for the hobby. It's an absolutely amazing interview, and it's a lot of eye candy. Right?
Yes, of course it is.
Crime and grime.
It's the dark side of model railroading. The last train show, they're calling me Vader Vic because of the dark side of model railroading. That's what it's about. But anyway.
Vader Vic. We love it. Why is that going off?
I had it going.
Start. Did you?
I did.
It's going. Sitting right next to Vic Smith, we've got Bob Rivard, who is very, very famous through the last 30 years in the model press with articles in Rail Model Journal, Mainline Modeler, and Model Railroader Magazine. It's an honor to have you on the set tonight.
Hello, everybody.
I got a few other folks we're going to bring in. Off to this side, we've got Steve Hurt, his father, and his grandson. Is
Son.
that right? Son. And
Yes.
your son.
Yes.
And I can't wait to hear the family story that you have to tell
That brought
tonight.
us here tonight.
It's absolutely wonderful when you have the whole family involved in the hobby like it is. So tonight on the property, as folks started to show up, and we had a lot of barges, a lot of festivity. We didn't do a bonfire this night, but everybody was outside enjoying adult beverages and sodies, and otherwise just enjoying the cool temperatures that we've been blessed with for this RPM show tonight, as I show the B-roll of everybody outside having a good time. It's absolutely the best hobby in the world, and it's because of all these wonderful folks sitting around us tonight on the set, right?
Yeah.
I think we had about 45 people in the yard tonight, and all the cars fit, so it was kind of manageable this evening, you might say. But today's show, again, was absolutely magnificent, and I want to start with Mike and say, Mike, what did you think? What did you show off at the show today?
Well, I didn't have too many new models. I just showed a lot of auto racks and some stuff I had done over the past year, but it was really nice having so much more room this time. And getting in through the back door, the loading dock and everything, that whole procedure was streamlined. Lonnie Bathurst and, they had these temporary badges to give us when they saw what we were doing, and so we could get in with no trouble through the guarded area, and it was very, very smooth. And I liked having all the extra tables. There was a whole bunch of chairs, around for people to sit at, one particular table and talk. And the only thing they could improve on is the lighting, but that's anywhere you go, I think.
I had no trouble. Look, everything looked great.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's why when we did the Midwest Valley Modelers layout so many years ago, that's when we figured out we needed those can lights.
Right.
We bent the conduit, we created our own lighting system
Right.
all the way
Just
around with
lit the
35
layout.
heads,
Mhm.
65 watt light bulbs. That thing was cranking out some
no
electricity,
kidding, yeah.
right? Remember
Nowadays
those days?
you could do it like with 30.
You heat your basement. You
Right.
need no
I know.
Yeah.
How different that was. We do LEDs now.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was amazing, and that's what we learned about the various venues where these conventions are held, that the lighting's not that great to view models, and it was the same way with regards to videotaping the models in some of
Yeah,
the interviews.
right.
A lot of camera crews, as you would attest, actually bring their
Right.
own lighting with them.
Oh,
They're
they sure
connected
do.
to the cameras, right?
They sure do, or they put them on stands and light up their live
It was kind of
shots.
nice having the vendor area and the model display area separated this time, not by physical barrier, but just an aisle that in past years the tables were all just kind of mixed up, and it was
Right.
sort of hard to navigate and stuff. And they shut off the vendor area like at 6 p.m. by closing a partition, and then they let the model area open till 7 p.m. for people to still watch models, but and then they were locked up overnight. So that was kind of a neat idea, having the two separate areas in the show.
That was great. Because last night they allowed everybody to congregate
Right.
around the models that were on display,
Mhm.
while the manufacturers and vendors' tables were safe and secure behind the big wall.
Yeah.
And that's the first time they've done that.
Right.
The show just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
It
This is the
does.
15th year that they've done it.
Wow.
Yeah, this year is a big improvement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good improvements that really help
Right.
smooth things
I
out.
agree. Yeah.
He has got a voice for microphone, doesn't he? I know, right? I'm going to turn you down a little bit.
Yeah. Don't want you to overshadow.
So this was Holly's very first train show that I brought her to. She was looking forward to it. We had her wonderful son Landon with us, and he absolutely was charged and just, I mean, it was just, he was amazing, right?
Yes, he was.
What did you think about what you saw? I mean, it was overwhelming, I understand that. But this was your first taste at a RPM show where these folks all around us really get into what they do.
I saw some nice the layouts. I like the Radissons, the Army. Well, Landon.
Radisson, McGuire's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the military loads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
And my son asked if you would make him some cars.
Yeah.
He loved-
Yeah.
He wanted to know if he'd make some cars. And he liked Joshua Barton's,
Sugar fire.
the Sugar
Yeah.
Fire. And the Halloween, I guess the
Yeah, that was Matt Gidley. That
Yeah.
Haunted house, yeah.
Yeah.
Gidley.
Haunted house.
Haunted house.
Yeah, the
Matt
haunted house
Gidley.
one, that was
Yeah.
neat.
How-
Fog and lightning bugs.
Lightning
Yeah,
bugs.
The lightning
yeah,
bugs, yeah.
Fiber optic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right?
That was neat.
very cool.
That was truly amazing. All right, Steve Day, what do you think?
Well, this is my first time coming to an RPM meet. I've heard about it, read about it, and I said, you know, maybe I think I'll come down. And then doing a little research, which I very rarely do ever, I read it's bring your models, but it's not a contest, which I'm not used to. So I figure with all of these heavy hitters here, and they're gonna let me come, and I'm not gonna be judged, and I get judged a lot. Won't judge me.
Yeah.
I brought my stuff, so.
Tell us what you brought tonight.
Well, what I brought is some stuff that just on my my layout's nothing like Vic's. It's like plywood USA. But as Ken was saying, you know, I work with Bob Lundy, and what we do is we manufacture buildings like this that are made out of resin. They're all resin cast, and we make them right there at our workshop in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And they're very well detailed kits that pretty much you can pour some glue in a box, shake it up, and you got a building pop out. So what, if you just take a look over to my left, your right, that's a Rick's building. It's called a MAC, M-A-C.
This one here.
Yeah, both of those guys. And like I said, I did a lot of research, but I thought the building looked cool, so it would fit on my layout because I got a lot of stuff that doesn't go together, but they all play good.
And you do an N scale.
All
right?
in scale, yeah.
Right.
And the other thing too is I know people accuse Ken of not doing in scale, but we're fixing that.
That layout's back there. You know that.
And I presented Ken with 2 buildings for the
Nice.
in scale layout. So
Yes.
we're
Yes.
working
Cool.
on it. So
All
I'm
right.
going to be on him for that.
Yeah.
I
But-
want to know more about this bus station. That is an
Okay, the
absolutely
bus station.
sexy building.
That bus station is our best seller. Bob came out with that about 5 years ago. And I must admit, when I first saw it, I kind of lost my little mind.
Right.
And then Bob said, here's yours right here. And I was like, ooh. And if we turn it around,
Yeah.
there's actually a little Coke machine back in there. And everything you see there, it comes with the kit, with the exception of the people and the one guy that fell down in the front.
Right.
But you get the stand, you get the retaining wall, you get the roof detail, the air conditioning, the signage, and all of that. Now, what I decided to do with that particular kit is go for an Art Deco look. And I did do a little research on that. I looked up bus stations from the 50s, and I saw some of the bus stations, some of the locations, came out with a lot of colorful detail and such. So the biggest thing about putting that kit together in terms of time-wise was just masking everything up and changing the colors. So, but I really, really enjoy that kit. But if we move over from my left, that's Kelly's Cafe. That's one of our new buildings. That's a small one.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then next to that one, we have the Blair Trust, which is the building right here. And then next to that, we have Brothers Block. And then right here, we have the Bates Hotel.
Nice.
And what's really cool about the in-scale buildings is that all of the window detail is on one fret. I don't know if you can shoot in there, Daniel, but if you see like all of the windows here in the front of the building, they're all on one fret. So what you do is you just put the wall down, you put your fret down, you glue it down, and then you put your acetate, you score it with a knife, cut it with a pair of scissors, glue that down. And then what I use is I use electrical tape to put as a view block over the windows. And if I want to make blinds, I just use a little piece of masking tape. And then once that's done, 2 halves of the walls or 2 sides of the walls are cut at 45-degree angle.
Right. That's
And the other side, 2 sides, are tongue and groove.
Tongue and groove, yeah.
So what you do is before you glue your building together, you put them all together here and you hold them. And we have a patented wall clamping device that comes with each kit. Some of you guys call them rubber bands. We put them on here, and you have one at the top, one at the bottom, and then you just pick a wall and you just tack glue it at the top. Once that hardens, you take the other 2 walls off, and you glue the wall all the way down. You take your time with it, and then you assemble it back. You do the next wall, and at the end of a little session, you've got a perfectly square building. And you put your roof down on top of it, and then go have a cup of coffee and a smile or whatever you like to do.
Yeah, the way that's designed with the two 45s and then the tongue and groove,
Yeah.
I mean, it has to go together square.
Yeah,
you know,
you does have a choice.
Right,
And
so, I
'cause
mean,
if you-
that's a great design.
Because if you've ever put any other type of buildings together, that's probably one of the problems. Is you might get a one wall or two wall squared
Right.
up, and two are bowed out,
Right.
and then it just.
Doesn't ever look
So
right.
then instead of having a building here, you turn it this way so you can't see the bad side.
Right.
Is
So-
that roof
I got
one
a lot of
piece? Is
those.
that one
Yeah, the
piece?
roof is one piece. Yeah.
You showing that roof? Wow, the detail on that roof. Oh, wow, I mean that's one piece. Okay.
See? Now I'll take that back. It's three pieces. The whole, all of the duct work, that's
Yeah.
all molded in.
Yeah.
You got the air conditioning unit, that's
Oh.
a piece, and then you have
okay.
the
Yeah,
chimney
cool
there.
though, wow.
But other than that, oh, and the other cool thing is, with the window frets in here, that's what holds your roof in place.
Oh, okay.
What's a fret? What was that? Is that the
The
whole
fret
thing?
would be the whole window
Oh.
piece. In the HO
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
the windows are individual because they're bigger. But if you look at this wall right here
Yeah.
on this side, where you see all those windows there,
Yeah.
that's all one piece.
One piece.
Ah,
And
okay.
the other thing is when we
Oh.
mold the resin, the windows are molded in a green color, so you don't have to paint them.
Wow. Oh, okay.
The cheaper brick on the buildings is molded in another color, and
Mm-hmm.
then your expensive side of the building on either side, that's molded in another color. So effectively, like if you look at the Kelly's Cafe, there's no paint on that building at all, other than the windowsill. That's it.
Yeah.
And the other little thing that I do is to create a little bit more of a 3D effect, is I use pencil to darken in.
Is that available on HO?
I think it is. I think this one is.
Nice.
That's a nice building.
Yeah.
Yes,
So on this one,
the bus station.
Yeah, the bus station. Right?
Mhm.
Little guy. My son asked why he was laying on the ground, or this little guy.
The guy laying on the ground, he dropped his contact.
Is that what it
yeah.
was?
Yeah, he's looking for his contact lens.
All right.
When you look at Vic Smith's layout, there's a few people laying
Laying
down.
down.
They're
Right?
coming
I
for
don't
good
think they were
reason.
wearing contacts either.
It's called lead poisoning.
Yeah.
While we're shooting this show, I want to give a shout out to Scotty. Thank you so much for setting up this soundboard in order of the microphones as we sit here, because it's so much easier to adjust on the fly, as you're watching me do right now. Vic Smith,
Yes.
your layout is running in the July What's Neat video.
Yeah, thank you.
And last night we were all honored to be able to come
Yeah.
out to your home.
That's right. I was on.
Usually on the RPM meets in St. Louis on Friday nights, the folks meet at Vic's house after the show, and on Saturday nights they all come out here and watch us shoot this show.
Yes.
But you had a great thing going on last night, and the one thing that you've done on Facebook in the past 2 weeks is you took one of Jason Schron's Rapido Impala station wagons.
Yeah.
And the family had to get off the highway to get some gas and maybe find a bite to eat.
Oh, yeah.
And they visited the city's edge.
They did.
And Holly noticed that last night. Out of the entire layout, she picked out that station wagon, which you actually lost on your layout.
I did, which I did happen.
I found it for you.
She found it.
She did.
But as the family circulated through town, it seems like their station wagon got kind of colorful,
It
didn't
did.
it? Tell us what happened there.
Well, just like in National Lampoon's Vacation, when they go out, they stop in St. Louis and they get lost. And on the city edge, it was actually they came off the highway to get a quick refueling, and they got lost getting out of the city edge. So on my Facebook page, I got 4 or 5 different episodes and the evolution of the car when they first arrived to get gas, and
lose
then
their hubcaps.
yes, and then after the first
Hubcaps.
stop
Yeah.
for directions, they might lose some hubcaps, and the next stop is they stop to get something to eat because they're in the city edge so long, because all the streets kind of intertwine and reconnect with each other in an endless loop, so they couldn't really get out, so they had to get something to eat. And when they came out from getting something to eat, the car got tagged by some graffiti artists, and you have to see and just check it out on my Facebook page. You can see the little evolution of the staging of the photos and how they got the hubcaps missing to the graffiti, and to where they finally do exit the city edge, we think.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll have to wait and see.
That was well done, Vic.
Thank you. Thank you.
amazing,
Yeah, I couldn't
dude.
find the. Yeah, last night somebody said, "Where's that? I want to see that station wagon." I said, "Yeah, it's right over here by the 7-Eleven." And
Yeah, right.
I couldn't find it. I couldn't. Kenny said something to me. I said, "I can't find it." And Holly goes, "Oh, it's right over here by the diner over here." She found it under the L next to Molly's Diner. So it was there. It was there. And thank you for finding it for me. Great attention to detail she has there. Yes.
Another thing about Steve Day is when he's not modeling trains, he's an instructor for dancing. And I want to brag about that because you taught Holly how to do a little Latino swing, you might say. We were having a lot of fun.
Yeah, we
Yes.
were.
We did
Yeah,
have fun.
we were actually doing a dance called Kisamba.
Kusamba.
Yeah, and it's just
How's it
it's
go?
just-
1, 2, left, right.
5, 7 over this way.
Slide, yeah. You taught,
Basically, it's just a walking dance.
yeah, you taught Kenny. I seen you teaching them out there,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it
it
worked good. I'm sure we'll have some B-roll of that showing right now. We did.
That was amazing. Now, I want to take this moment to thank very much Denny Yelsma at yelsma.com and Yelsma Graphics for supplying us with all these beautiful hats, these What's Neat This Week hats that we handed out at the show. Everywhere you looked and up the aisle, a lot of people were wearing our beautiful hats that Denny donated. Just a brand what we do at the best time in the world. Thank you so much, Denny. Now, Bob Rivard, you shared some amazing models today, and you brought a brand new diorama that you had built, which is actually set up down here in the basement. As Daniel pans over and shares with us that beautiful work, why don't you tell us what we're looking at?
Yes. Well, this is a exact replica of the Shoreham Sand Tower in northeast Minneapolis, and this was my stomping ground back in the day. And that black and white photo there is one of my first photos, and I would go down on my bike with my dad's black and white 35 millimeter, and that's one of the photos I had taken.
Wow.
And I went down into the back then. They didn't mind if you went into their property.
Right.
You couldn't do much
Wow.
like that now, but
Right.
you could go. I went into the roundhouse area, got a shot of something on the turntable, but anyway, I've always wanted to make a nice, credible model of this. And the sand tower is one of the first things I did when I built my railroad back in like 1980, 81. So this is a portable version of what you see on my actual railroad. So this can go around. I made this for the Sioux Line Convention last fall, and I thought I'll bring it here for you guys to see what I've been working on. So this is, here we'll actually run the 747 down to the sand tower here. So I
You
have
got this hooked up to run?
yeah, I have the Loke sound hooked up, and
Oh, wow. Hello.
Wow.
all of my Sioux Line
Nice,
engines, I'm trying to get
nice.
Loke sound put in them. So
I
Look
like
at
all
that,
the
look
little
at that.
sand piles around there too. That looks really perfect.
I had my guy a little too close, but that'll happen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
Wow.
but yeah, it was really a neat project, and it was really fun to bring it to the Sioux Line Convention last fall because there was always a sand car. As you can see, our yellow sand car there. The Sioux had 3 of those that would rotate around they would get their locomotive sand from Eau Claire, and so there was always 1 or 2 sand cars down at the sand tower, and you never really saw a shot of the sand tower or the fuel tower without a sand car being there. So, but it was quite the enjoyable experience building this. So.
It's nice work. And it's
Thank
so
you.
much nicer when you build a diorama, unlike
Yes.
a huge layout, what's down here.
Right.
You can actually manage it. It's
Yes.
manageable.
And the
Yeah.
discovery of the pink foam material
Oh, yeah.
that they put for walls. It's like that's the new
Right.
thing.
Right.
That Jeff Eger showed in his clinic today. It's like, yep, that's how I would build a railroad if I started over. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Daniel Coombs. Daniel, thank you for getting the Garden Railroad to run tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And we use that new throttle system. What's it called? Rail Pro.
Rail Pro.
And the gentleman that supplied us with the Rail Pro? Don Sweet. We finally got it running. I learned how it charges, and the Amtrak train runs good.
Nice.
And we had a good range outside with that throttle system, too. It carried the full 200 feet across the yard. I was very impressed with that. Now, that's not powered by DC. That's dead rail. People call it dead rail because there's batteries in a locomotive that actually make it run. And I know I'm shooting B-roll of this because, we experimented with it with Campbell Rice on the workbench. But to actually hear that sound system outside, it's got a lot of sound to it. I guess there's bigger speakers in a G-scale engine
Right.
where you can actually hear it and really appreciate it. It didn't sound tinny. It sounded very robust with regards to the sound of the diesel and the horns. So thank you guys for helping us set that up.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Daniel, you too. All right, now we're going over to Steve Hurt. Every year, Steve Hurt brings a very wonderful large-scale model to the show, something brand new that he builds every year. And this year, it was a Frisco caboose that was converted into a taco stand.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Down to picnic tables and the trash containers that had the bottles of beer Corona in them, and in the bottles of beer were limes. I mean, this is finite modeling, and Steve never misses a trick. Steve, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, sir, as always.
It's awesome to have you.
Yep, it was a pleasure again. It was a real pleasure getting to see Vic's layout last night. I'd never seen it in person, and it was more incredible than I ever expected. The entire basement is, but yeah, the layout is more than I ever anticipated.
Cool,
Yep.
man.
But yeah, I try to bring a new project every year, and I was glad everybody enjoyed this one this year. It was based on a couple of pictures I found online, and then through a couple of friends through the Frisco.org site, I was able to come up with a few more and got a half dozen or so pictures, which was enough to build from. So yeah, it turned out pretty much what I wanted, and I think everybody seemed to enjoy it. It's something different for sure.
Yeah.
It's,
That's
like
really
always.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's another wonderful thing about your family is that you've got generations of your family that enjoy the hobby. And
Yes.
we have all of them with us this evening.
Yes.
Let's start with your father, Jerry Hurt. Is
Yeah.
Jerry back there?
Yep. This is the guy that got me into
Jerry,
this.
Yeah, Jerry.
Jerry, I want to say you have an incredible son.
Well, thank you.
He's respected in our hobby for years and years. He's done some great work.
Well.
Tell us about your passion for the hobby.
Well, it started out when I was a little bitty kid because my dad was an engineer on the Frisco.
Okay?
And when I was little enough that they could hand me up to him in the cab, I got to sit up there and look out the window. And
Wow.
I've been hooked ever since. Growing up, I was told, do anything you want to do but work on the railroad. And so I didn't work on it. I haven't gotten paid a cent from it. But I've taken pictures and chased trains for years, built models, done everything but get paid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's all been fun.
Well, good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great era you get to walk through, that you had. And like Bob saying, be able to walk onto the property like you used to, and back in your day being handed up to the cab. I mean, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. And the big rule then was simply from my mom, don't step in the shiny stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, we had free reign of the place.
Nice.
That's pretty amazing.
That's cool.
Now, you've also got, Jerry, you've got your grandson here,
Yep.
and that is Nick Hurt and his wonderful young lady friend, Xela Clark. I want the two of you to come up to the microphone. You both were at Vic's house last night, and I kept saying what a cute couple you are. Me and Holly both agreed.
Yeah.
Tell me, Nick, about your passion for the hobby. You're also into RC cars, aren't you?
Yeah, I started in HO scale trains because my grandpa has a community club, like a local club that I used to hang out with him a lot there and do train stuff there. But lately I've gotten into more 1/10 scale crawlers. I got several different ones, but I get my dad to do a lot of patina work and different things like that. 'Cause
Right.
I like to have things that are different. I don't like to own anything that someone else owns. So.
No, your dad is amazing at weathering. I'm sure he takes those crawlers and makes them look
And,
prototype.
yeah, he you can see the detail that he has in HO scale trains. When you apply that in 1/10, you can show off so much more and so much easier that way too. So
That's awesome.
It makes it nice.
Now, do you see yourself building a train layout at some point?
No, because I don't have the patience for it. I don't. The same reason I don't paint is because I don't have the patience for it. That's my only problem. But I would love one, yes.
Right.
But it would.
Now, Xela, you, just like Holly, pretty much saw one of your very first train shows over the last 2 days. Tell me what you thought about all of that.
I mean, I don't really know anything about trains, but it was cool. I mean, y'all obviously put a lot of time into it and everything. So.
In 2 days you survived,
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Good.
That's really cool. Now, you realize in Europe, the crawlers are in HO scale. That's really big in Europe with regards to RC.
Here, 24th scale is becoming a real big thing now. Like they're starting to do 24th scale competitions and stuff
this
like
size
that.
here?
Yeah, like from the factory now you can buy ready to run 24th scale trucks now. So that's becoming a big thing, and that makes it nice because you can take a off-the-shelf kit and make a body or anything like that for a crawler, so you can make a lot of different things.
Yeah,
so.
right.
So you could run those in your yard and eventually start a G-scale layout.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go, because that's what your father models, is so many G-scale projects.
Yeah, Paul's into G-scale a lot too. He's got a little like time saver built in G-scale, so.
Well, it was absolutely wonderful meeting the both of you.
Yep.
It was just perfect.
Thanks for having us.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
I know, right, gentlemen? Where do we go from there? Because that's everything on my notes. And we're 25 minutes into this RPM show. They usually run long. There's been a lot of manufacturers that didn't come because we have the NMRE National Show coming up here in St. Louis in 2 weeks. And so that's where we'll see George Bogatok and all of our other fans that we didn't have in St. Louis this weekend. A lot of things were about not just budgeting, but it was also about, I guess, the gas prices and various things that made it so this year's show wasn't as, plus we were just coming off of COVID last year. And so the RPM meet here in St. Louis last year just erupted. Yeah. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. But you gotta love it. You know, I love these RPM shows, and I get to meet Steve Day, you know, and also Bob Rivard too. Dave Davis always.
Oh boy,
Dave
thank you.
Davis always bragged about you all the time, and plus all your publications and print.
Dave and I talk about once a month. We catch up on stuff on Sioux Line, and
nice.
It's great talking to him. And
I know it is.
That's cool.
I was wondering, your Sioux Line convention, you said, is that an annual?
It's an annual thing. I think I went to the first one in 1978.
Yeah.
And it's going to be this fall. It'll be up in Duluth.
Okay. So
at the wonderful museum up there.
Nice.
So that's going to be a really fun time. And I'll probably bring the module again and display some different Sioux Line engines. And
they're cool.
It's nothing. Get together with Luke Lemons. We share our Sioux Line experiences and modeling. It's a fun time.
Really cool.
Yep.
In the backyard tonight, we had everybody lined up, all 45 of you that were out here tonight, and we did the opening for the September What's Neat, where the September What's Neat starts right now. And everybody did that beautifully. I didn't stand on a ladder this time. I knew better. But the fact is, we will present the St. Louis RPM meet in the September video that will be coming out very shortly. So I've got 15 days to put together all 10 interviews and all the footage that we shot of the show. It's going to be really good material. A lot of great people worked with us on that over the last 2 days. We did 5 interviews each day. We worked them all in. We got B-roll of all the layouts and all the subject matter. And the one thing I do want to say is that Rapido Trains announced a lot of new products on this show. The lumber cars that they had were just spectacular. Wow. That turbo Amtrak train that's coming out. So many new products were announced.
Yes.
It was pretty amazing.
The CP bulkhead 60-foot flat cars, which I have a couple of cases ordered from Spring Creek. Can't wait to see those.
I want to say
high
that
hood U25s they announced too, something the Frisco guys have waited for a long time.
So it's Rock Island modelers. That'll be nice.
Spring Creek was at this show, as I recall. I think we shot video of Dave.
Yeah.
And he was working the show with Daniel. With Bruce, thank you. Bruce and Dave wave at the camera, and I think that Radisson was also standing with them in this clip that I'm showing as they work around the country to help promote the hobby, and we thank very much Spring Creek Model Trains for helping us promote the hobby on this show. That was awesome.
Yes.
So with that, I think what we're going to do now, and we got a lot of participants down here, we're going to take the NCE Power Cab system and the Pro Cab with the radios running around the basement. Some folks are going to go outside and run G-Scale, but we've already had a lot of beautiful trains run down here in the basement tonight. Some folks have brought a beautiful brass passenger train, was running it earlier.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
So I'm going to give this to you, Steve Day, and you're going to play with that hammerhead and learn how to run trains.
This looks like just the one I got at home.
It's one of the most amazing DCC systems in the world because it's very easy to use and it does just what it's supposed to do. It works.
If I can make this thing work, it's easy.
You can do it. All right, everybody. So with that, best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it, all at the RPM meet this year. Let's go run some trains.
All right.
Good job on camera, Daniel. Keep that one running. Let's kill the other two, and we need to do a thumbnail shot. How do we want to do that this year?
Everybody grab a building.
Okay. Everybody else can stand up and give thumbs up behind us. Hey, Brandy.
Hey, you guys on the back, you can all come back here. Yeah.
I know, right,
Yeah,
Steve?
get us all right in there.
Bring
bus
There
station.
as well, okay?
Yeah.
It is cool.
I gotta get out of here.
It's a pizza.
Steve, can you have your son and his girlfriend Xela stand
right
behind
now.
us here?
You wanna go around that way?
We're gonna do a
They're
thumbnail.
coming through.
There you go. Yay! Just work your way right in here tight. Be careful of that cord right there under your feet. We don't want to unplug that. Right? Perfect.
This is where we need to be again.
Yes. Just watch that cord. Don't step on it. Brittany, everybody,
this
give a thumbs
Yeah.
up. Show some
Right.
teeth. Daniel, do you have this full screen shot?
Let me run the camera.
We
got
got everybody
everybody?
though.
Ready?
Need you right there.
Set. Show some teeth. And that's our thumbnail. Let camera roll for 45 seconds as we roll credits. Thank you guys. You did a great job. Be careful of that cord back there as you step out.
31 minutes.
Xela, awesome.
All right.
You too.
I worked very hard having Daniel get this brain working.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, thank you for finding my sanctuary.
You're
I couldn't
welcome.
find it. Somebody asked me for
I can't
it.
believe that I
look at
even
mine.
was.
Even if it did get missed,
Yeah, you found it.
And the fat Batman.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good job, Ray.